Thank you. We'll call the meeting to order. This is the RM of Springfield meeting agenda for October 14th of 2025. Again, it's 6 p.m. I'm Mayor Patrick Therrien. With us is all of council with the exception of Councillor Warren, who is unable to make it. To my right is Deputy Mayor Fuel. Next will be Councillor Kaczynski, and next will be Councillor Miller. And again, Councillor Warren is not able to make it tonight. We'll go to item number 3 on the agenda there. That's the land acknowledgement. The RM of Springfield acknowledges that we are gathered on ancestral lands, Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji, Cree, Dakota, Dene peoples, and on the national homeland of the Red River, Métis. If we can now go to approval of the agenda, that'd be item number 4, please. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that, please? Councillor Fuel and Kaczynski. Any additions, comments with regards to the approval of the agenda? And I see none. Can I get a show of hands first for the question of those in support? That is unanimous, so carried. Adoption of the minutes, that'll be for September 16th of 2025. If I can get a mover and a seconder for that. Therrien and Kaczynski. Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a editorial correction on item 9.3 in the meeting minutes. It says Oakbank and Enola AMP. I'm not sure what the AMP reflects or is supposed to stand for, but
I think when we use the and sign, it doesn't move over correctly in our system, so we'll have to put the actual word and in for that. So
that change.
Okay, anything else with regards to the minutes? I see none. Can I first, for the question of those in support? That is so carried, is unanimous. And we'll go to reports, please. That'll be items 6.1. A mover and a seconder, please. Miller and Therrien. Councillor Miller.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to add a few things to this, if possible. I just want to encourage everyone to participate in 2 events that are upcoming. One is at Immaculate Conception Church. They're having a pierogi supper. I believe it's this Friday or the following Friday, as well as Cooks Creek has the startup of their monthly breakfast. So I would encourage people to participate on those events. That's the Cooks Creek one is on a Saturday at 9 a.m. They sometimes have guest speakers and such, and it's a continual fundraising activity for the center. And again, it's very good. I know Enola and Dougal, I think, also have events, but I'm not entirely sure when those are. And I would just like to raise a couple of other quick items. I recognized in the media that the CEO from Laboratories was fired just at the end of September. My question is, perhaps to our CEO and maybe the mayor, will this have any impact on us directly or indirectly going forward? Do we have any outstanding memorandums of understanding or any agreements or any other detailed contracts or anything that was including fire protection or anything else that might be under the purview of any partnership that we had?
no, nothing with Laboratories that would affect us, no.
Okay, great, thank you. I have a few more items. One is JohnQ. I noticed under the agenda items of the RM of Taché today, actually it happened today, that they were reporting on JohnQ. So unfortunately I wasn't able to zoom into them because I don't think they offered the zoom in today, but I tried. But I would like to ask the question to our mayor, because he sits on the board of JohnQ. And they did have a meeting, I believe, just last month. In terms of the contracts with Boom Done Next for $2.8 million as a subcontract that is being investigated, could you provide us any details of why that contract was garnered or why it was secured with Boom Done Next? That happens to be specifically a person named Marnie Larkin, who was the co-campaign manager for the Conservatives in the last election. But the procurement seems to be a little bit strange and awkward. And I wonder if you could provide us any insight or details or information what entailed with that particular procurement.
I've already explained this to you in emails there, Mark, but I had nothing to do. I've never met the woman there, and I have nothing to do with the contracts. That's through administration there, and I think I've answered that before as well.
Yeah, and I guess why I keep asking the question is because in the complex of corporate bylaws and constitutions, the board of directors is responsible for a corporation's disbursement of funds. You can't blame the administration for doing something that the board is overview is basically.
I'm not blaming anybody, Mark. Absolutely
well, that's the
nobody.
issue. Is the good news is the Auditor General is looking into this, and it ought to be the board of directors who's responsible for that significant amount of dollars that's going forward. So if you're not aware, as a board member of JohnQ, I really wonder how this organization is run, and I'm really concerned about it. And I hope that this province, the minister responsible is going to go deep into this, because it's very clear that obviously the administration is running that organization, not the board of directors, who are actually mandated to do that. So, well, you can sigh and all the rest of it, but in all due respect, a board of directors of a corporation is the one who is ultimately responsible. You can't push it off to the administration, as much as you may not know anything about it. That's unfortunate. I also wanted to.
Okay, let me answer that then, Mark.
Sure, please.
It's 99% commentary, which isn't the realm for this. You know that there's a review on there, and we shouldn't be talking about it anyways. I've said to you, I don't know how many times you send me emails about these conspiracies and people that are shouldn't be there, and undercover or something like that. And then I tell you that there's nothing I can add to this. This is something for the Auditor General to find out. And I tell you repeatedly, this isn't a matter that I have any insight in. And if you got insight, then speak to the Auditor General. You say you're talking about this, and you're able to add insight about engineering and all that. And I've told you many times in the emails there, if you've got insight with regards to engineering, I think the question is that this could have been done by a first-year engineering student. Well, if you know anything about engineering, then feel free that if that's your perspective, to contact the auditor, the general. I absolutely don't know why you're asking me questions when you know I've already answered them, and I understand that you're curious about it, but so is a lot of other people. I say just wait and let the Auditor General do her report.
Thank you for that answer, deflecting
and this is an activity report, so I'm not sure how much more you want to.
Well, because
talk.
It's important. The RM of Taché reports on things like this, and yet our mayor doesn't. He's on the board of directors.
It's right here. My report's on here.
A sentence? You met with John
No,
Q?
I sent you a report, an email with regards to our last meeting that we had, and also that's on the agenda here tonight.
Very inconclusive, very
well, that's what somebody would say.
Well, it is
distractive.
If you're on the board of directors,
carry on, Mark. Come on, let's go.
You don't want to. You deflect, and you don't want to.
I'm not deflecting anything. This is just conspiracies,
you don't want to answer the question.
And you're just looking for things under. I have no idea what you're trying to get at here.
Okay, be on the board of directors, but don't know anything about disbursements.
Whatever.
That's really responsible.
Sure.
I like your comments. Sure. Innuendo, deflections. Anyways,
deflection. You got nothing to add, Mark. You just talk about conspiracies there. Let the Auditor General make her report.
And we will.
Just wait.
And yeah, but at the same time, why are you on JohnQ if you're not forthcoming with information?
Absolutely. I'm forthcoming with all the information.
Okay.
It's another conspiracy theory. Come on.
What conspiracy? I don't know what conspiracy you're talking about.
Your emails talk about all this stuff that's supposed to be done by the PC party and stuff like this. That's not even in our realm. This is simply JohnQ, and there's an Auditor General's report. So that should be the end of it there. Let them do the report.
Okay, let's move on, like you say.
Thanks.
Last week, council and members of our administration went on a retreat at, I believe it was in the Whiteshell. Unfortunately, Councillor Kaczynski and I didn't receive any information what was discussed. No financial information. No agenda. I'm just wondering why.
Because you didn't want to go anywhere at any time anyways, and I'm not sure whether you got the agendas or not.
A point of order.
Let me ask the CEO.
No, point of order. I think that's derogatory.
What?
You don't want to go anywhere. What are you talking about?
We didn't want to go to this anyways.
Because it was a significant cost to the ratepayers of this province.
Throw that in there if you want, Mark, but I'll ask the
What
CEO.
a deflective mayor we have.
Deflective. Is that the word
So
you came in here
how
with?
Much did it cost?
What do you got to use it 12 times today?
You're an aggressive mayor. How much did it cost?
I'm not aggressive. Absolutely not aggressive.
Wow.
That's the CEO is going to answer that.
Good.
So I don't have final amounts. As I mentioned, we won't have those amounts till the November statements come in. So I am working on that amount for you. I am compiling all the information. So I've asked every department head to submit their information that they presented, and I'll be putting that in a document and providing that to you too.
Okay, excellent. I look forward to make that public. October 22nd, as you know, Mr. Mayor, and we've invited you. We've invited other members of council to attend a public engagement forum, one of 4 that we've now held or going to be held at Cooks Creek on October 22nd. So again, we encourage you to participate in that as well as the community. We're going to be talking about some very key important information on Silica and the Winnipeg Metropolitan region. And my final item, Mr. Mayor, is something that you referred to. You say wait till the auditor's report. Well, the good news is on May 6th, I believe it was, the ethics report was provided to the province of Manitoba. And let me quote the Honorable Uzoma Asagwara, the Minister of Health, and this is in Hansard at the Manitoba Legislature. This spring, the Ethics Commissioner found that the former Deputy Premier, Cliff Cullen, broke the law and violated our Constitution by trying to force through the Silica project along with former Premier Heather Stephenson, the member for Red River North, and the PC House Leader. This violation of our Constitution goes against the very fabric of our democracy, which is built on the premise that when you vote, your vote means something. On this side of the House, Honorable Speaker, we believe that premise is worth speaking on, and protecting Manitobans believe the same. When Manitobans went to vote at the booths October 23, they voted for a compassionate, inclusive government. They voted for a government that had a plan to improve healthcare, a plan to keep people safe, and a plan to make grocery prices and gas prices cheaper. When the people of Manitoba vote, their voice should be heard, and the actions of the losing party must reflect this. During the handover period, the losing party must honor the people's vote. That vote wasn't honored by Cliff Cullen. That vote was not honored by Heather Stephenson. That vote was not honored by the MLA for Red River North. On and on it goes. But what I want to say also is, this is a quote from the Honorable Wab Kinew, Premier of our province. Honorable Speaker, today I want to speak to you and to all Manitobans as the Premier of Manitoba. The basic function of this chamber is to see the exercise of your will, to see the exercise of our democracy, and to honor that hallowed gift that we call the franchise in this beautiful country of Canada. And it goes on to say, they were a defeated government. Today they were a sad opposition. For days they have tried to manner of stunts and delays and nonsensical arguments in the public sphere to try and hold off this moment when the leader that they all pledged fealty to will be fined for violating your vote. The fact that you showed up on election day, you were lined up to vote, you chose who you wanted to be government, and in their actions this week and today, they continue to show contempt for our democracy, and they continue to show contempt for you, the people of Manitoba. What does it mean to accept an ethics commissioner's report when no one on their side will accept responsibility? The current member of their caucus, the former leader, who are soliciting donations from, they're all doing my job. Wrong. You lost your job on October 3rd, 23rd, when Manitobans voted in a new direction. You had no right to ram through the Silica project. And it goes on, I won't go on, but you know, it was the Minister of Environment, many other members of the legislature who spoke and make it known that the Premier, the former Premier, was fined $18,000. And of course, others were fined $12,000 and $10,000 respectively. But you know, when people violate their trust with the people. That's a shame. That's an absolute disgrace to democracy. And I thank the Wabkanu government for upholding Manitobans through what we did here locally in a Silica referendum, where 90% of people voted against it, where Councillor Kaczynski and I voted against the development agreement, and on it goes. But hot off the press, Mr. Mayor, I'm sure you haven't seen this unless you're at the Silica website today, but they have a memorandum of understanding between PageWizard Consultation Special Projects and AECOM Canada, where they're moving forward. They're going to try to move forward this project. So my notice here to the people of our community and this council is we have to be absolutely on the tip top of our toes to ensure that our water is absolutely safeguarded for not only now, but for future generations. They have not let the how can I say, the pedal off the metal or the metal off the pedal. They're going full steam ahead, and please be aware of their memorandum of understanding at their website that they have a new partnership and they're looking to, quote, go forward with the Vivian Sand project. And so that raises not only my hair, but it should for all residents of our community. And we have to be alert to this. We ought to perhaps even call a meeting with the Minister of Environment in Manitoba to ensure that the RMF Springfield is protected and that all of council again will vote absolutely opposed to this this project. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Again, CIO Silica is coming up there. If that's true, I don't know if it's true or not. It's a provincial matter. It hasn't changed since we were discussing this 3 years ago for a year and a half. So we have sent our letter. We sent our letter to the CEC about our, I think we discussed this last time, but I'll say it again. We sent in our letter saying that we are opposed to any project that will negatively affect our water. Plain and simple. It was very straightforward. The letter to the board and to the minister that we are totally opposed to anything that will affect our water, and it's a provincial matter for them to vote on that, and they did so with the CEC hearing, and the CEC hearing came up with 8 or 12 questions that have to be answered before this project is through, and they did a very thorough job, and I agree with it. They have to do what they did, and there was experts in that room that actually had PhDs in the whole 9 yards. So it was 13 days of very comprehensive analysis of it, and they came out that they didn't recommend it, and they had to have 13 or like I say 8 to 12 questions answered. So that's never been a problem with us, and I actually answered onto the record twice with the CEC stating that same thing. So we'll just have to wait and see. We just have to kind of wait and see. In a minute there, Mark. You talked about this referendum about the CEC. Well, I'm not an expert there, but that was a farcical attempt at a referendum. The way to do it there was not done correctly. So you can make numbers work whatever way you want, but it was a farce how the referendum was done. You're talking about and I guess that's it. Again?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It wasn't a farce. It was people who actually phoned in and who actually wanted us to fight to the death to stop this project. And you know what?
Death.
As I read this report, the ethics commissioner, the former government, was going to push through this proposal. It's very clear. It's very clear. They are fined for it. They did what was unconstitutional. They went against the convention, and so the caretaker convention. And not only that, that was round 1. This is round 2. What we said before is great. We have to be even stronger this time because they're not relenting. They're pumping huge dollars into going round 2. So let's be prepared for round 2 even stronger. Let's be prepared to fight, as I say, to the nth degree to ensure that our water is protected for not only us, but future generations and all of southeastern Manitoba. And whatever that means, again, if that means meeting with the Minister of Environment or other actions, we got to go above and beyond. We can't just sit back here and wait for things to happen. That's not the way to do it. Otherwise, we would have seen, if Manitobans sat back that project would have gone through with the former government. You know that. So let's not sit on our laurels. Let's go full steam ahead to stop this project if it is similar or the same of what we saw before.
Councillor Kaczynski?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to point it out and add to Mr. Councillor Miller that Silica presented new application to a provincial government. Right now it's on the table. So I want to ask you, Mayor, and maybe CEO, did we receive the copy of that application to the provincial government?
Well, I never seen anything about it.
I've not received anything.
Okay, well, maybe we should write a letter to our government and ask them that they present it to us, because it's very important. It's going to happen if it's going to happen in our municipality in Vivian, Manitoba. So we
So
have to
my
stay.
understanding is all applications made for environmental act license are posted on the provincial website, so it would be posted there for anyone to read.
Okay, but we have to be vigilant and you know, step on it. So make sure that doesn't happen in our municipality. If they want to hit this project, maybe they can go someplace else. Thank you.
Thank you. I got a question for Councillor Kaczynski. You attended the RMS St. Clements Chambers on the 26th of August there for Ken Drysdale presentation?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Okay. Is Ken Drysdale on your presentation for the 22nd of October, is he?
That's correct.
Okay. But you didn't put that in your monthly activity report?
Because I don't have to. I don't think so. I have to. I didn't go there I went as a private citizen. I didn't go as a councillor of this municipality.
But council in the RMS St. Clements noticed that you were there. Did you let him know that you were coming?
That's fine, yeah.
Oh, but you didn't let him know that you were coming there?
No. Do I have to? It's open to the public.
No, I'm just asking you because...
No, I answer you, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? I see none. Then if
And I would like to ask, like, who report to you that I attend that meeting?
I got a call. I got some calls.
From who?
I'm not saying. No, it's not a secret. Somebody calls me there, and I'm keeping it confidential.
So they have like friendly call, or they complain like they say, why this guy is there?
Yeah.
Who he represent?
Well, you didn't represent anybody, as you said.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I want to know what they said to you about it.
Nothing.
Like you keep secret. If I didn't keep any secret, I just went there and
if somebody
I
comes,
attend because I want to know how the council gonna react and what presentation was all about.
If council's going to react.
Because it's very, very important. They are in WMR and we are in WMR, and those issues are important to their community like to our community. So the more we learn about that WMR, the better for us, for our municipality, and for other municipalities who are involved in that.
Okay, but you were there with Ken Drysdale there for his presentation with that group?
Yes, specifically okay. I went there, yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. Any other questions, comments? I see none. Can I get a show of hands, those in support of elected officials' reports? This is unanimous, so carried. Why don't we go to 6.2, please? That's departmental reports. Get a mover and a seconder for that, please. Miller and Fuel. Any questions with regards to this at all? I've got a few here, quite a few actually. I just want to give an attaboy congratulations to our Public Works for finally getting the, not finally, but pedestrian traffic lights in Oak Bank there on Main Street by the car wash and by the Kin Place, so our senior citizens can cross safely. And our young people can cross safely as well, getting to and from the school, and the elderly and our seniors getting to the arena and the soccer fields. It's a long time coming. So I just wanted to ask whether it's being done in Dugald yet. I haven't had anybody tell me so, and I haven't had a chance to get down there.
I don't believe they're done in Dugald. I think we're still waiting for discussions with MTI.
Okay. So we're still waiting to see from Dugald, but that's the process. We're looking at 2 more in Dugald, 206 and Jaffrey Avenue, I think it's called there, south of 15, and another one by Gillespie on 15 by the curling rink there. Obviously, the curlers, people that are walking there. And even during the Egg Festival there, it's a very busy street, so having the pedestrian crosswalks there is long overdue. And I want to say another attaboy to the Public Works with regards to the damaged trees in front of the turn here coming into the RM office. They've been replaced, and they're hardier and robust there. So I'd like to think that people would just take care of our properties and not damage them. And the new sidewalk on Pine Drive. I've had senior citizens talk to me several times over the years there about the sidewalk and how they can't take their wheelchairs down the sidewalk. I didn't even walk on that sidewalk. It's just too it's broken up and so on like that. So it was a severe safety factor and has been for many years. So that's been done. I think it probably be completed in the next week or so. And I've had people approach me on our last open house there in September at the arena. They approached me and thanked the RM for doing that and having that done, because it was a good concern. And I just want to also put out there, like Councillor Miller had mentioned, we have open houses in the RM. We have 4 of our own year-round there with all council. We do all 4 corners, and all the questions are brought before us there. And this question was brought with regards to the sidewalk issue as well. And also the new sidewalk on Main Street. I guess the other side will be done. This is on the west side that has been done. Another issue, it was safety there, and pavement stones were good for the first 15 years, but they got really wavy there, and again, it was a safety issue. So a great job from Public Works. I want to thank also Asset Management and their report, a very detailed report. I do have some questions with regards to core public infrastructure survey. I'm not sure what that is. And our tree inventory map. I'm not sure if Nomar is on or not. Or
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
oh, Nomar, what is this core public infrastructure survey?
So that survey is put out by Stat Canada every 2 years.
Yeah.
They basically.
We can't hear you, Nomar. Can you?
Oh,
Just give us a moment.
Just give us a moment there, Nomar.
thank you.
Okay, Nomar.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So the core infrastructure survey is put out by Stat Canada every 2 years. Basically, it collects asset category per asset category. They collect quantity, condition of asset, and the replacement cost. Basically, I will put out what I answered, what we have on this month's report, just so you guys can see. Basically, all of our asset condition-wise, overall, it's hovering between fair and good. As for the tree inventory, we have a GIS map. I will also include that for this month's report, just so you guys can see that snapshot of the trees collected in the town of Oakbank.
Thank you. And what about the tree inventory map? You mentioned that. I think our last time your last report or the report before that, you were still working on that. So that's all been completed now?
Yes. Yeah. I will attach that for this month, just so you guys can see the map.
Okay. Last question, Nomar. You mentioned there that we have tree stumps. I think you said that there's trees, 21 or so, that are needing attention. So I'm not sure if that means they're coming down or not. But so we have tree stumps there. Do we hire out for that?
I'll have to double check with Public Works for stump. I'm kind of leaving them because they're low priority for now. We focus mainly on the high high priority dead trees that we took down.
Okay.
But I still have to confirm if Public Works can take those out themselves, or if we have to hire a contractor to do those, because we have to go like a few feet down the surface just to fully remove it.
Okay.
So we'll
Well,
see how much budget they have.
okay. Well, thank you very much, Nomar.
Thank you.
Now, waste and water. No, the report is nothing's exceptional on there. I just want to highlight the fact that we've been waiting 18 months for our environmental license there. 13 months since our open house as required by environmental for licensing there. So costs keep on going up. I'm hoping that maybe we'll get some kind of an answer for that sooner than later, because the longer we wait, the longer the costs are. Yeah, that's about it. Any other questions or comments with regards to reports? Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. I get a number of inquiries about the Springfield Police Service, and I'm just wondering if our CEO or anybody can update us on what we should be, or how we should be responding to our residents on the status and what's going on. I just want to make sure that this is, again, very public and that it's consumable for residents to know what's going on. I mean, we're heating the building. Is there anything happening in that building, et cetera? Whatever you want to reveal would be very helpful to me as a councillor to relate to citizens as well as those who are here today and online.
So the building is obviously shared. So yes, everything is still being paid. We have to operate that building still. It's a shared space. I think council's talked about it. We're looking at the various options going forward, and that will come out to the public once we have more information to share. I mean, the only thing you need to be telling people is call 911 if it's an emergency, or call the non-emergency line at the RCMP if they need police assistance. So at this time, RCMP is still in the community. So.
Who's that? Councillor Kaczynski?
Thank you. So what more information are we looking for about police?
So I think when council spoke about it, there was 3 options. It's whether Springfield Police will come back to life. We were looking at options for community safety officers, and we're also looking at just general bylaw on enforcement.
So who is looking into that?
So I spoke with council. We have an auxiliary officer that's helping with that project. So we're reaching out to different agencies like St. Anne's, East St. Paul, Victoria Beach, Steinbach, Portage La Prairie. So they're all communities that have some kind of variation that they're running right now. So we're meeting with them to see pros and cons and what they've learned, what they could do better. We'll bring back that information to council.
And who is meeting with them?
Well, his name is Tyler Kelly and myself. So we're looking after that project right now.
So how many meetings did you have so far?
How many meetings? Well,
Yeah.
right now we're just doing inventory in the buildings. There's a lot of items that if they're not used frequently, they kind of get destroyed. So we're trying to make that inventory list quite quickly so that we can reach out to other agencies that might want to acquire that from us so that they're not going to waste. So that's been our priority right now. And we've created a list of questions. So we'll be contacting those agencies and trying to meet in person, but if not, having Zoom or phone calls to get answers.
And do we have time frame when that's gonna be finished? So we can give some answer to our residents about policing in our community?
Well, I think I told council we'd try to get that research done by the end of the year and then be able to go out to the public in the new year.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions with regards to reports? I see none. If I get a show of hands for the question of those in support first. So it's unanimous, so carried. 6:15. We're a little late, Mrs. Overall there, but if you're ready to go, how many minutes? State your name, ma'am, and your address there, and 10 minutes will start for when you commence.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and councilors and Ms. Draper. My name is Jill Overall. I live on Aspen Drive in Oakbank. I'm here tonight to bring to light a problem we have in our municipality regarding conditional use permits. I'd first like to touch on the problem in general as it affects Springfield residents, and then I'd like to focus on one case in particular. As you know, conditional use permits are issued in Springfield municipality through the planning department and Mr. Doucette. Many residents use conditional use permits to begin home-based businesses, and this is a great opportunity for property owners to operate small businesses on their properties. However, the conditional use permits have conditions attached to them in order to protect neighbors, as well as to ensure that the business conforms to the permit use. And this is where the problem starts in our municipality. We issue conditional use permits on a regular basis, and they all have conditions attached to the permit. Conditions like hours of operation, amount of property used, fencing around the business, etc. But when the conditions of the permit are not being met, there's currently no plan in place to enforce the permit use. Part of the problem may be that we no longer have a municipal police force, and it sounds like you're working on that, or that our development officer who issues the permits shouldn't be expected to try and enforce conditions on residents who may be a bit aggressive. However, enforcement of bylaws and permits is not an option. It's a legal obligation of the municipality, and once council has passed a document that includes conditions, it's an obligation. Council cannot just pick and choose when and where or which bylaws they enforce. So I do have one case in particular I'd like to talk about, and I've photocopied the conditional use so that if you want to take a look at it.
I'm sorry, is this your conditional use that you're
Nope.
here about?
No, this is a person who's asked me to help him because he's been to you guys a number of times.
Well, I'm not sure if you could speak on a,
He's given me permission to speak on
has he
his
got it
behalf.
written?
Pardon me?
You got it written that you,
Yeah,
but
I've
it's,
sat in his kitchen. He asked.
okay, but it's
Can you
already,
listen to the story and then you'll understand why he asked me for help?
go ahead.
Okay. Would you like to see the conditional use permit that's in a problem?
Just speak to it now, and then we'll look at that in a second.
All right. Okay. So one case in particular is along one of our major highways in Springfield, where many properties have home-based businesses. And I am adhering to some of the cautions that our CAO sent me after I got put on the agenda about private matters, keeping privacy. So there's a neighbor involved, and I'm calling him Mr. X instead of his name. I
Good.
haven't named the highway. Okay, but the person who has this problem is Mr. George Kopecki. He's owned his property along the highway for 32 years, and he has tried repeatedly to have the municipality send someone out to his property to check out his problem and hopefully to enforce the conditions of Mr. X, his neighbor, and his conditional use permit. Mr. Kopecki has stated that he has personally phoned his counselor several times. He is in Ward 1. Over the past year and a half, he's left messages, but he did not receive any return calls from Mr. Fuel. Having not received any solutions from his counselor by phone or email, Mr. Kopecki went to the municipality's planning office in early June of 24. This is over a year ago. He filed a complaint. However, the municipality did not intervene in his problem at this time. Then in August of the same year, Mr. Kopecki received a letter from the municipality that there would be a hearing. And then this would be regarding the conditional use permit of his neighbor's 3 businesses. Mr. Kopecki attended the hearing, explained the problem, but was disappointed with the outcome when the municipality denied Mr. X to operate his composting business, but allowed his other 2 companies to operate. Mr. Doucette confirmed that Mr. X had 1 week to remove the debris from his yard. He did not. In fact, the debris or compost lay in piles on the property that were estimated to be approximately 10 feet high, spanned 50 feet in length. It was approximately 100 truckloads of compost. The compost was smelly, and Mr. Kopecki, as well as the other neighbors, began to have a rat and fly problem. So the condition was not met by Mr. X, and in fact, his deadline to fulfill the condition was then extended twice. To make matters worse for the Kopeckis and the other neighbors, in September, instead of removing the compost, Mr. X simply spread those 100 truckloads out over his property. Once he started spreading the compost piles out over his land, rats and mice that lived there ran out to Mr. Kopecki's outbuildings as well as to the other neighbors. The flies that emerged from the compost as well as the smell were horrible for the summer. Mr. Kopecki called Dan Doucette in early October to complain again. And Dan must have been frustrated because he told George Kopecki that he didn't care anymore whether the compost was removed or if it was spread over Mr. X's yard. Mr. Kopecki again appeared at the municipal planning office with his complaint, but was told by the municipal employee that Springfield does not have a bylaw officer to enforce its bylaws. Mr. Kopecki immediately emailed Dan Doucette, but he did not receive a reply. Mr. Kopecki then sent an additional email to Mr. Doucette saying that he would like to appeal the conditional use permit that had been issued to Mr. X, but again, he received no reply. Mr. Kopecki fears that his property value has depreciated due to his neighbor's business. He and his wife experience constant anxiety due to these issues with his neighbor. And with no fencing in place to fence off heavy equipment in use, the Kopeckis worry for the safety of their grandchildren. Since his neighbor has raised his property level, the X land is now higher than the Kopecki land, which has experienced flooding and damage to his property during heavy rainfall in the summer and in spring runoff. The runoff of contaminated water from Mr. X's now higher land forms a visible path as it flows down to Mr. Kopecki's pond. And of significant importance.
3 minutes left, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Of significant importance is that when Mr. Kopecki's pond was tested for contaminants twice this summer, it was flagged by the lab for extremely high levels of E. coli and that it must be remediated right away. So these two water samples were taken from the pond on the northwest side of his property, 30 days apart. I do have a copy of those if you'd like to see it. They showed E. coli levels 200 times greater than the acceptable level. So this elevated E. coli level poses a serious health risk to the Kopeckis. Groundwater contamination to their shallow well is a serious risk, and the family pets must be kenneled in case they swim in the pond. Any wildlife using the pond for drinking water are also potentially at risk. So here's to sum up Mr. Kopecki's attempts to get some help. He's contacted his counselor, Mr. Fuel, multiple times. He contacted the planning department and Dan Doucette multiple times. He appeared at the planning department multiple times. He appeared here before council last fall in September. He has tested the water on his property twice to find it extremely contaminated. So there are companies that we can hire to enforce our permitting for us. We used to have a police budget. We no longer spend it on police. So could we now use that to enforce bylaws and permits within our municipality? Let's start with Mr. Kopecki. He's been advocating for himself for far too long. Residents like Mr. and Mrs. Kopecki should not have to fight so hard to have bylaw problems upheld in Springfield. If nothing is changed for the Kopecki situation, the municipality might have a significant liability if they were to seek a legal remedy. Tonight, I think it's time for council to order Mr. X to finally live up to the conditions of his conditional use permit. Council has a responsibility to make this happen. And you have the power to make it happen. You have the power to enter into the property to remediate the problem and then charge the cost to the owner. You have the power to revoke the conditional use permit that Mr. X would not be able to operate those companies. At the very least, he needs to remove the approximately 100 loads of compost that he spread out, and he needs to bring his land back to the original level.
1 minute, ma'am.
Thank you. He needs to erect the fence that he promised to erect. We should hire an environmental company to remediate the Kopecki's pond. We need to put the Kopecki's quality of life back where it was before these permits were issued. So tonight I'm asking council pass a resolution that the municipality act immediately to enforce the conditional use permit of Mr. X. Maybe revoke it, since he's had many chances to operate within its conditions, and he has not. Mr. Kopecky would like council to ensure his and his family's quality of life will no longer be adversely affected by Mr. X's businesses. So do you want the conditional fruit?
Yes, if you can hand it out there. Thank you for your time. And I can answer your one question with regards to the enforcing there, as you stated there clearly, and it was stated before you even got up. We're still in the process of determining how we're going to proceed with the Springfield Police Service. So that's still in the process. So in the meantime, there for any municipal bylaws enforcement there, as council, we're looking into that. Our options are commissioners being hired for whatever time frame that is required there, depending on how long this is. There's many unknowns. As for the budget, I'll ask our CEO to enlighten us with regards to that. We're not spending that money for the Springfield Police Service, apart from maintaining the vehicles and so on like that. And I'm getting calls from other RMs about our police vehicles, and when I attend conferences, there's a lot of interest in that, but that's just kind of, we're not selling our stuff there. For the equipment like guns and so on, they have to be maintained every 30 days. You have to be
I know you're working
so
on
like
that. You're working on all that, but what are we going to do for Mr. Kopecky?
Mr. Kopecky, we're going to look into that. I'm surprised why Mr. Kopecky couldn't have shown up here. He was here last time.
He was.
Yeah.
And here we are again. Nothing happened.
Did you come to him or did he go to you?
He came. I used to teach his kids.
Okay, well then that's something that we're looking into, ma'am. Thank you very much for the added information.
No. I don't think I should have to go away with no resolution. I mean, this man this is now 10 times he's tried. He tried 9 on his own. I am attempt number 10 for him to get a resolution.
Well, you mentioned Deputy Mayor's name several times. I'll let him answer.
Yeah, I'll speak to that. I've never heard from him once, to be honest with you. So, and that is the truth.
Okay, then I think he can supply you with the 3 emails he sent you.
Okay, I would like to have them, please.
Have you got them here with you, ma'am?
No, I don't have them.
Okay. So yeah, if he contacts
But apart from that,
Deputy,
he
excuse
came
me,
here.
ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. So if he contacts Deputy Mayor, then the Deputy Mayor can look at those emails. And as for the conditional use, the permits and so on like that, I'll ask our CEO, but it's going to have to go back to our development or our planning office there and look into it further. So I can't say if Mr. Kopecky was here, I'd maybe ask him a little bit more questions with regards to that. But I'll ask our CEO to discuss the budget there and how we're going to go forward with Mr. Kopecky.
So I'm telling you that Mr. Kopecky, English is not his first language. He was here in front of you with his wife.
Yes.
He told you all the problems. He's been to the planning department. He's talked to Mr. Doucette a number of times. When he wasn't there, he talked to the assistant.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to contact Mr. Fuel, got no response. So what does he have to do? So now I'm here for him, and you're kind of blowing me off again.
I'm not blowing you off
Sure
at
you
all,
are.
ma'am.
There's no resolution for him. It's going to freeze up. And those 100 truckloads of compost are still going to be there. So in the spring, when there's runoff, it's going to go right into his pond. Sitting beside that pond is this cute little boat. His kids used to go in that pond. There's a little dock in it. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, he deserves better. Like, why are we just sitting here not making a resolution for him? Why can't we say, okay, Public Works, go in there, get rid of the compost, put this man's life back to normal? I mean, he's had rats running through his property, as have the neighbors.
Okay. And I'll ask our CEO to maybe talk about the budget and that.
I'm not sure what you
Resolution,
mean
please?
by the
Somebody,
budget.
come on.
I mean,
You can't introduce a resolution, ma'am.
Why?
so the 2025 budget has been set. Obviously, no decisions made on the 2026, so I'm not sure what information you want me to provide on budget, but I mean, we asked several times for your information in advance. You've kind of put me in a disadvantage. If I had known you were specifically looking at this property, which should be brought to admin's attention. I recall Mr. and Mrs. Kopecky coming to council, but that's the last I've heard from them. So,
And again, I'm going to remind you, he went to the planning department 6 times.
okay, well, I'm not aware of that. If I had known that information in advance, that's why we ask for your presentations in advance so that we can do our due diligence.
But what does
And
it
I could have
take?
talked to the planning office to get a record of those conversations. I don't have that information here. So I'm just asking you, give us some
So you're
time to
telling us,
take it back.
like, I literally had to jump through hoops to get here. I did. You said you
You
gave
didn't
me.
jump through hoops.
There's
Yeah, I
absolutely
did.
no hoops, ma'am. It's a
Oh
very
my God,
simple
there are so.
process.
On Friday.
It's a very simple
On Friday,
process.
I answered 3 phone calls and 2 emails about this. I gave a point form. I told the 3 topics I was going to talk about. And then after that, I got this cautionary note from Ms. Draper, and it included words like, you're cautioned against discussing this, and cautioned against enforcement issues, private matters, potential litigation. You know, like, why do I
I
need the
mean,
cautionary
these are matters
tales?
that should be dealt with administratively. They don't really warrant a delegation in front of council. Council
Absolutely. This
doesn't
is-
get involved in this process, so they
This is a-
pass
I
the,
can't believe
Sorry,
it.
Colleen.
Like, seriously, I'm so frustrated. What does it take to get our residents their rights? I mean, the guy beside him has blown his conditional use permit so many times. And Mr. Doucette went out and said, well, you can have this extension. Oh, you can have this extension. And then he said, I don't care if he plows it all onto his yard. So now we, our municipality, are dealing with this man's contaminated water. He has a shallow well. Are we going to replace his well, or are we
so
gonna-
again, this is the first I'm hearing there's contaminated
You-
water and wells. I'm not aware of this. I have
But if
not
you were here
received
last year,
information.
if you were here last year at the September meeting, you would have heard him. He said all this. He didn't say about the contaminated well, but he told you about the rats. He told you about the 100 truckloads of compost, and you guys told the guy to move it. He didn't.
So he
What
moved,
can we do for him?
so he moved the piles and
No,
it was
oh, he spread them.
flattened.
He
Well,
didn't
most of the
remove them.
pile was removed and the remainder was
No,
spread.
Not
So
true.
I have pictures showing that it was dealt, that it felt that he had dealt with it because he spread it and he wasn't adding to the piles. If I had known there was contaminated wells, obviously we would have looked into this further. I'm telling you, we have not received anything. So if I could check with planning office, I can give council a full report on it.
So where do we go from here for Mr. Kopecky?
Well, we will
Before-
deal with
before freeze up.
Mr. Kopecky directly from here.
Have you got that letter saying that you're authorized to talk? I should have asked you that
Yeah.
beforehand. Can I see it?
I don't have it with me.
Maybe next
I will
time
get it.
I should
I
have
sat
had
at his
that.
kitchen table with him.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'd like to have
Like,
that
are
letter
you,
because we're talking.
you're accusing me of
No,
like
I'm
bringing
not
this and
accusing
not
you of
having
anything,
that?
ma'am.
I kinda felt
I'd like
that.
to have had a letter there to show. If you can send it to us, that'd be great. Because people talking on other people's behalf, it's the person has a chance to come up before us, and they could do that. I spoke to
So
Mr.
this-
Kopecky was here during the second time before council, and we came out to an amicable agreement there. So you're saying it did work out?
happen. You
So
came up
give
with
us a
agreement, it
chance.
didn't
Give us a
happen.
chance to look at that. That's what Mr. Kopecky has to realize there, and there's nobody working tonight, so they'll look at that this week,
Monday?
and hopefully they can get on
Is
that.
someone going to call Public Works on
Well,
Monday?
I can't say for sure, but our
Why not?
CEO is going to look at that and then contact our
Pauline, will
planning
you call
department.
Public Works on Monday? Can you
Well-
do something for him?
I will be talking to them tomorrow.
Tomorrow, oh yeah, right. Sorry, lost track of my days. So you'll talk to them tomorrow.
I will be
And
talking
someone
to
will be
them
going out to
tomorrow.
Mr. Kopecky and
We'll review the file and
Okay.
see what our next steps
And
are.
I do want to point out, on the conditional use form, there was supposed to have been some kind of grade level. You know, I think that was point number 4
9.
or 8. I
Right.
highlighted the points.
A lot grade plan be
A lot
obtained for the
grade plan.
site.
So maybe they did it after the guy, put all the 100 loads in the ground. But I mean, anybody who goes there can see an obvious swale where it's gone across Mr. Kopecki's land into his pond. It's a significant problem.
Okay, Councilor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Burrell, for bringing this to our attention. It's very disturbing to hear. I have a number of other residents who actually are fearful and intimidated to come to this council because they are faced with confrontation and abrasive.
You're not unmuted, Mark.
Well, there are other members of my ward specifically who are frustrated and will not come to this council because they feel that there's all it's going to be is a confrontation and an abusive or abrasive kind of attitude. And I'm seeing it quite clearly here. It's on tape now. So you can see why Mr. Kopecki, you think he would come once and that would be it. Now the mayor's saying, not only do you need his notes and his authorization in writing, but we need to have him here tonight and to plead his case again. It seems absolutely ridiculous. If we're not acting on these things, these conditional uses, why are we even putting them into print on paper? They're absolutely useless. I have two other instances where residents will not come to council. They think I, as a ward councillor, should be advocating for them because, again, they're not public speakers. They have day jobs. They have families. They have a whole host of things. They don't need to come to plead to us. These conditional uses are in place and they ought to be adhered to. I'm very, very upset because, again, I know this is not the only case. This is not the only instance where the conditional uses are either going to the back burner or being buried. And as the mayor had said tonight, frankly, I'm going to ask the question, carte blanche on record. Do we have any bylaw enforcement active tonight, today, and tomorrow? Or is the Springfield Police Service, because it's dysfunctional or not functioning, do we have absolutely no enforcement by anyone? Because it appears, again, I'm getting inundated with calls, texts, and emails, and Colleen, the CEO, has seen some of them by business operators who are everything from trucks that are going down residential roads. I know they're not absolutely prohibited, but appear to be chewing up the road because they're over tonnage, to businesses that are doing things that are not within their conditional use, to more recently a dirt bike platform that's being constructed in a residential neighborhood, and so on and so on it goes. Like, again, I know we can't be police on every corner and we wouldn't want that, but absolutely, Mr. Kopecki, I'd be so frustrated. And the other intimidation factor is if he comes here, it looks and it appears that he's fighting his neighbor. And of course, that's going to lead to absolute, maybe territorial war, as we call it. In southern United States, you had the
Hatfields
and McCoys, absolutely. So do we want to have a whole bunch of those happening right here in Springfield? The neighbor I'm talking about in a different business doesn't want to come here and be recognized because he thinks, quite frankly, his neighbor will take things into his own hand and retribution will happen. And so he doesn't want to be in a hostile type of situation. So all I'm trying to plead to you, and I would make the motion, quite frankly, because obviously you can't, you've been told that, but I can. So I will make the motion that without delay, we want to uphold that conditional use permit regarding this file absolutely within 14 days or cancel it.
Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, Councillor Miller, that I have received calls on other issues too with conditional uses. And I can assure you, Mr. Kopecki, I would have followed up on it if I had the emails, because I looked at my phone over and over. There's nothing in there about this. So if it's phone calls, I haven't received a phone call either. And I can assure you, I've been following up with other matters with situations like this with administration. So again, I'd like to see them, I really would.
And yet he was here.
Yeah, I get he was here, I
was here.
agree.
And did you follow up with him after that?
No, because I was letting administration follow up with what we had said that had to be done within a certain time frame.
We do governance, ma'am. Administration does the administration part there. If you're suggesting that we go out there and checking on the lands and all that, that's really not our job. How do I know what the elevations are and so on like that?
I understand.
It's our administration.
I understand
We're without a police service there, so you know, and RCB doesn't do bylaws.
I understand that governance is
But
pretty
what we
important, but
what we have in the meantime there, we have people that are suitably qualified for this. We don't always have to have the bylaws out there. They can look into this. And this essentially, we're going in circles there. We'll look at that and we
no, but
discuss
that's all
that.
fine and good. You're saying platitudes and you're going around in circles, and this man's living with
Platitudes.
rats. Come on. He's living
Well,
with
then if he's got
and-
rats, he can contact pest control of the province as well, and we could do
But
that
it's
for
not
him.
his rats.
We
It's
we
not
can
his
do that.
rats. It's
We
his
can do that
neighbor's
for him
rats.
if he's got a problem
Mr.
with that.
Tarian, Mr. Mayor, I think you're deflecting. You're
There's that word
deflecting this
again,
problem.
deflecting. I'm not deflecting nothing. Yeah, twice.
Oh, multiple times actually.
So I'm just
Okay.
asking for an opportunity to look into this and see what we can do.
And
This is
then
the
are-
first I'm hearing
okay,
of most
so
of
that
this
Mr.
information.
So that Mr. Kopecky doesn't have to go through the delegation process and you know he needs to talk to you, why don't you send in an invitation?
An invitation to who?
Send him an invitation to come in front of you so that he doesn't have to go through the delegation process. He did already. He doesn't like it. English is not his first language. He's
I'm
not
just-
computer literate.
And I think I might have asked you, just send that resident to administration. We can deal with him. So we will talk with him, we will meet with him, we'll figure out all the issues and
Administration
come up with a resolution.
Is you?
As myself, yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. We got progress here. Councilor Kaczynski?
Thank you. Mrs. Overall stated a lot of times tonight, that Mr. Kopecky went to planning department and complained. Why the planning department didn't come to you as a CEO?
I'm not going to answer for them. I'm asking for an opportunity to meet with planning and go through the file.
I know,
I'm
but
not
Mr.
going to just
Kopecky-
give answers tonight.
Mr. Kopecky gave a lot of opportunities because he came to the office 3 times and he
Well,
was
I searched my
rejected.
emails while Ms. Overall was speaking, and I found an email saying all of the piles have been leveled and spread. He's complied. So that's
yet
the last information I have. So
The
just,
conditional,
I'm asking for that opportunity.
conditional use
think-
permit said remove it.
But what we're saying, ma'am, is that we give us chance to look into this and we'll get back to Mr. Kopecky.
Okay.
So
it
I
was
think we'll
confirmed
just
that-
keep on going in
Yeah.
circles here.
No, it was confirmed that the piles were spread and not removed as per the conditions on the
And-
conditional use.
In our planning department, we'll look into that too. And
Okay.
we'll verify with them.
Okay,
Thank you
I'll
very
let
much,
Mr.
ma'am.
Kopecky know what you said.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. So I didn't have an answer to my question about who does enforcement in our RM. That's the first item.
So
On-
right now, every department head is a designated officer and does bylaw enforcement.
Okay, thank you. So that can be done. Second, I want my motion to be entered into the minutes that we uphold the conditional use permit regarding this concern within 14 days or cancel it. So if 2 weeks, 14 days doesn't give you enough time, I'm not sure how long we could drag this out.
Well,
And it's imperative. If this stuff has to be removed, freeze up is happening within the week too. And if it's not dealt with now, it's not going to be dealt with, as Mrs. Overall says, until spring, which will lead to other contamination, other issues. So we can sit on this and do nothing until spring and just make Mr. Kopecky a really good citizen of our community and spread the word that we've done diddly squat for over a year. And what more does he have to do? You can't fight City Hall, is the old term, right? Well, I believe being on City Hall, we can fight it from within and change things, and we need to. So my resolution is there. I just need somebody to second it.
Well, I'm just going to suggest there are timelines we have to follow within the Planning Act. I don't know if they're 14 days or not. So I'm asking for an opportunity to review.
Well, I'm scared if we defer that more than that, this
Well, we have a
resolution.
meeting next week.
No, can you show us what's in the act to prohibit us? We've had that conditional use extended. We continue to extend it. You may as well just.
But we don't know this.
You do know it. If you've
No,
had
we
a year,
don't.
you've
This
had
the
Mr.
planning.
Kopecky
The
here.
planning department is still. We have to, and they have to see what's
They
going
have
on.
seen
We
it.
don't know what's going on. So how
The
can you
planning-
introduce a resolution that we don't know what's been going on? Like
do know. Look
we
into the
need
file.
time. Administration needs time to look at this.
Time,
to a
extend,
resolution.
to do nothing.
I think what you're doing, you're bad-mouthing our employees here. Our employees
You're
are doing,
bad-mouthing our residents.
our employees are doing the best job possible. We don't know
Then
what's
it's not good enough.
We don't know what's gone
Then
on.
it's not good enough, Mr. Mayor.
It is good enough because we don't know what the answer is yet, Mark.
It's not good enough.
You're suggesting that everything they've done is not good enough. Why don't we listen and see what our administration has to say?
Mr. Kopecky and Miss Overall? This is an ongoing concern.
But
Nothing's
we have one person coming up here talking under authority that Mr. Kopecky, fine. Okay, but now we have a chance to look at it. We've got it introduced there.
So pass
we
it
got
off
it
again.
introduced there, so we have a chance now to look into it, to start putting an arbitrary.
The motion's on the floor.
To put an arbitrary resolution. This is poor governance. I think this is
governance.
You're taking advantage of a situation here that doesn't have to be taken care of.
That Mr. Kopecky can deal with rats.
Let administration.
Let him spread his.
Let administration deal with it. Let them deal with it.
The mayor would love this stuff that was spread next door to him and the rats were coming, wouldn't you?
Well,
what would happen?
So we
24 hours, I
deal
think.
with the health
Whatever.
inspector regarding rats and wells. The RM doesn't enforce that. We need to bring in other provincial departments. Well, we
because we're not
don't
doing it.
control
You don't know
rats.
if we're not doing
and
anything,
It's
Mark.
evident. Go there tomorrow,
It's not
Mr. Mayor.
evident. You
Do
have
you have
no
two
idea
eyes?
what you're talking about, Mark.
You have no
We
idea,
still-
Mr. Mayor. Go there tomorrow. You
No,
have
it doesn't
eyes.
require. We need administration to look into it.
Wow,
Because
push
we
it
haven't
off.
been updated.
Push it off
Deputy-
again, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, deflecting, yeah.
Okay.
1 year and counting.
Deputy
1
Mayor.
year and counting.
Deputy Mayor.
Again,
Deputy
you don't
Mayor.
know rules of order.
Oh, here
Motion's
we
on the
go
floor.
again. Okay,
Here we
let
go
Deputy Mayor talk here. He's had his hand up for a while.
breach Robert's rules.
May I make a
That's what you've
suggestion?
done since day one anyway.
May I make a suggestion? We have a council meeting next week. Can we give administration 1 week to find out the information and then we can pass a resolution if we feel it's not looked after properly?
That's a good,
Okay, so next week, then we'll get an update
Even
on
better.
it there.
even better.
Okay, that sounds good then.
Thank you.
Councillor Kaczynski?
Thank you. Follow to this point, like we don't enforce the bylaws. It's supposed to be done without 30 days of this order. And the order was done, I think, 22nd of August. Yeah, but Mr. Kopecky was here, I think, in September. So he have 30 days from that day till, I guess, 23rd of October. So it wasn't done within 30 days.
Council passed
and now
another
it's-
resolution extending that.
How many
Past
days?
this.
How many days do we give?
On October 24th,
We
he
give a
was,
resolution.
2024, he was given 10 calendar days to remove the compost material. And then I have a email, gotta find my email again. And I really shouldn't be talking about this. So I did get an email saying piles had to be removed and leveled. So he did comply within that 10-day period.
Hey, you're being disruptive. Just let our CEO talk. Just let her talk.
So nowhere at that time did council say, no, spreading wasn't appropriate. It should be removed completely. So if that was the direction, I mean, he wasn't scraping the land, I guess. Is that what the issue is?
Okay, all right.
Okay, so we just dealing very poorly with this issue now. Do we have complaint forms that the residents can?
Yes, we do.
Okay, how many complaints forms there in the last half a year?
I have no idea.
Can you please provide us
Yes.
that information for the next council meeting? I really
For each
appreciate that.
department, for what?
Well, whatever, general complaints from our residents.
So I mean, you get that report from Public Works that shows the graph and all the call-ins and all, you know, all the inquiries we get. Is that what you're looking for?
No, just numbers of complaints. That's it.
I think
Never
it's on
mind
there.
what it's all about. Just number of complaints.
Well, I don't
within
think
half a
everything
year.
is labeled a complaint, so I will do my best.
Well, we have complaint forms, so people fill those complaint forms, so we have a record of that, or not.
Well, I'll provide council with a number, not the complaint forms.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, if whatever you can provide.
Well, that's private information.
I know. I said to the council,
I'm not talking to you, Mr. Akins. Please
Okay,
be
you're being
quiet.
disruptive, Mr. Akins. That's one warning, okay? First warning. There we go.
Well, don't worry.
Sorry, what was the question?
If we have,
I
Okay,
can't hear the
enough, Mr.
question from
Akins.
council.
You're being disruptive.
so I just said just the number of complaints we have last half a year, and you said it's private information. Council can see that.
No, council can't see everything
No,
they
why
want.
not? Show me the law that council cannot see it. We oversight of the administration. What do you mean we cannot see it?
That's not an administrative matter
Okay, show
that
me the
council.
documentation that we cannot, as a
You
council,
have
we
to know
cannot
your
see it.
roles and what administration's role is. So when people come in and complain and fill out an application, that's not information that's privy to council because you're part of the appeal process. You can't be involved in the complaint and the process leading to enforcement. Because if they decide to appeal that order to remedy, it comes to council. So you have to remain unbiased. I know you don't like that
We are
explanation.
unbiased. I just wanna see how many complaints
And I
there
said I
is
would
in
get you a number
Okay,
and I will do that.
okay,
We can
thank
do
you.
that next week, and at the same time, we
Yeah.
have the other information there. Okay, so that was a... Okay, why don't we go to 8.1. That's the bylaw 2514 Indemnity By-Law second reading. Mover and a seconder for that, please. Well, I heard somebody mumbling there about the motion there. There is no motion because we're having the information coming back next week. So you're taking back the motion. And you can introduce it next week if you like if that's the case. And I think that's what I heard from you guys.
Yeah, as long as 7 days with Councillor Fuel. Yeah, if we don't have it, I will introduce that motion, yeah.
Okay. So let's get back to 8.1. A mover and a seconder for that, please. Fuel and Terrian. Do you want to read anything or?
Discussion first.
Okay, Mark.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm opposed to bylaw number 2514. For the people in the audience and those online, basically this bylaw is to increase the salaries of members of council. And as I set out before I was elected to this chair, I said I would not receive any salary increase straight through to 2026. And so I will not accept any salary increase at all going forward. So I'm absolutely adamantly opposed to it. If by chance this passes, because who knows, there's a free and open vote, I do not want to accept 1 cent of this increase. And I would ask, there's many payroll programs, and I know that payroll department can definitely vouch for this, that they can just simply not increase my salary, my indemnity. It's that simple. I will not accept any salary increase. And if somehow they can't figure that out, it's not rocket science because I do payroll myself. It's not rocket science. It can be done. That any increase be dedicated back to the RM of Springfield, that it does not show on my indemnity. I do not want an increase. I don't believe it's right for a whole principle of reasons. Politicians should not ever, never vote on their own salary increase. If that is something not of conflict of interest and absolutely, one would go as far as saying is it is lining the pockets of their own person, I don't know what is. It's absolutely ridiculous. The province of Manitoba doesn't do it. They have an independent body that regulates that and determines that. And yet here we can vote on our own salary increase. And don't give me the excuse, well, that's what all council does. Just because you jump off a bridge doesn't mean you ought to do it too. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And in my eyes, it's absolutely wrong for politicians to vote for their own salary increase. There's nothing more absolutely detestable than that. Absolutely ridiculous. And I will stand stand on that till the mountain blows to the wind. It's it just is absolutely inappropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments at all? Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I'd just like to add, Councillor Miller, I'm fine with that. I'm not doing it for the money, bottom line. But the part though is there's people that you want to get elected that at least have the chance to be able to run. And that's why you're being compensated. So I'm fine with if you want to take out or put it in that the councillor can opt out of the increase, that's fine. I'm good with that. But having said that, I do believe in paying people appropriately, and I agree with that. We shouldn't be doing our own increases. It should be an outside party making that recommendation. So I understand that totally, and I agree with that also. Thank you.
I don't know any RMs that refer that to an outside body. I think that's just adding more difficulty to the system here. If you want to opt out, I say put a provision in there. I don't know if Deputy Mayor mentioned this or not, or it wasn't clear, but if we put an option in there to opt out, that's fine. I got no problem with that. Then you can opt out, and that's fine. But we also have to attract people into the RM to do council as well. It's our salaries are very good compared to other RMs. Exceptional, I would say, to other RMs. Some RMs are very, very low, but that's what we have here. So I just want to point out that our salaries are very good, but we have to attract the younger people there, and our salaries should be maintaining the cost of living in any case there, and it's a lot more than the 2%. I personally will opt into the 2% provision there. I work hard. We all work hard for the money there, but we have to attract a younger clientele or people that will be attracted to council there. And like I say, the salaries are the main point. If a younger family, the person is working full time there, it's a difficult thing to come on the council. Just something for Mr. Kuffner.
Excuse me, Mr. Kuffner.
Mr. Kuffner. Okay, so no, so okay, Mr. Kuffner, you're being disrespectful.
Listen to me.
No, I'm not listening to you at all.
They're not doing their bloody job. They're not doing their job. Your administration, you're not doing their job, and Colleen is not doing their job.
Okay, I'm not going to stand here while you start insulting our CAO. You can leave if you don't like it then.
No, I'm not going to leave.
If you disrupt again, then I will press the button. The RSMP will be coming here.
Oh,
this is your last chance. Sit down, Councillor Miller.
I'm not sitting down. What? I wasn't aware you have an RCMP.
It's a panic button.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so there. So the chance to run, the 2% increase is not the cost of living in any case there. So I think we have to have the 2% in there. I'm going to opt into it, and you can opt out of it. That's fine. But going forward, I think this is all we have to do. So I think putting in that provision there that you can opt out. What are you laughing at, Mark?
Are you going to let me respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. That argument is so funny.
It is. Okay.
Because you can justify your salary increase, and yet you don't let the people of this community speak to you.
He's being disruptive. What
because
are you not listening yourself?
Period. You don't let them speak ever.
Well, if you're shouting, that's disrespectful.
How else can they speak? There's no question.
Oh, come
on. And he wasn't
disrespectful. So you're condoning his disrespectful by shouting. Are you condoning that behavior?
Next year.
Are you condoning that behavior?
We're going to have question period.
Are you condoning that behavior?
Because they have no other opportunity.
Are you condoning that behavior?
Because you're abusive. You're aggressive.
Oh, come on,
condoning.
Mark. Just switch the page for Christ's sakes.
Now you're swearing again religiously, and I take offense to that.
Okay.
I'm walking out of this.
So
you can't walk out. Then it's code of conduct if you walk out.
It's Bonnet's to do for spend another $25, and I vote against this.
You can vote. It's not been introduced yet. It's not been okay. If you didn't,
There's a
okay,
quorum.
It makes me sick.
no, okay. I apologize for using the word Christ. So I apologize for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me get back to this. I feel the 2% is.
Oh my God.
The 2% is reasonable. Opting out is reasonable
Can't
as
hear
well.
anything.
Is there anything else?
I'm not aware of another way to set council salary other than indemnity by-law. So if you're aware of another way, I don't know what it is.
Well,
So-
we'll just make a section here, as Councillor Fuel and the mayor has said, and I would move
No,
that.
you've mentioned that you shouldn't be voting on your own increases or salaries. I'm saying I don't know another way to set your salaries that's not through an indemnity by-law. So,
Well, that we.
so I've made a note here that under section 2 of the bylaw, we could add at the last sentence, it says per annum and an additional 2% per year until the year 2026, unless a council member opts out of receiving the increase. So you're okay with that amendment? Okay. And the other thing I'd just like to point out that we used inaccurate numbers for the per diems. So the current per diem is not $200. It's actually $208.08. And the hourly rate is not $25, it's $26.01. So council did receive 2% increase previously in your term, but you haven't received any other. So this would be the second 2% increase for this term.
So I had asked some questions here. I had asked very specifically to the CEO to make.
I had asked very specifically last time to the CEO that I not receive any salary increase. I want to make sure that if I was paid any salary increase from the last, that be pulled back or taken off and returned to the RM.
Why don't you just put it to a charity?
No, because I don't want to receive that money. It's the RM's money. Mr. Kuffner has said that his taxes are too high, and I've heard that from many residents. So I don't want it to come to me and then me disperse it. I just want the RM to have that money and to hopefully efficiently use it.
For last year.
If there was an increase,
Yeah,
which I adamantly had said, and it's surely in the recording, that I will not receive a nickel extra. And so if I have, because I didn't.
I don't believe you have.
I don't
so
think I have as well.
This is a moot point.
Yeah. Okay. So then in this same scenario, I'll be opting out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. And the addendums there to the $200 increased to $208, I think it is.
So it's not an increase, that's the
No,
actual
but-
cost. I
Yeah.
used the old format and it's still at the 200, but it should say 208.08 and the $25 should be 26.01.
Okay.
And this also addresses the Ombudsman's report or the Auditor General's report, right? Remember, we were notarized in that Auditor General's report that I think it was more the previous council, but we also carried on with that practice of billing for time. Is that being rectified? Because I saw on
That's been
Facebook just
rectified,
today
yes.
That's right, yeah.
that the arm of Springfield councillors are obviously abusing that or have abused it, according to the Auditor General. I just want to make sure that we're doing what the Auditor General says.
Yeah, we noted that in first reading. So we've included actual time shall include travel time for attending and returning from all authorized municipal business functions. So that was the main point of the Auditor General's report. So we've addressed that.
And those former members of council who, in theory, abused it, according to the Auditor General, are we going to pull back their money or the money?
There is no requirement to do that.
No requirement, so they kind of got away with it, is what we're saying.
Well, the
No, I
policy
take offense
allowed
to
for
that.
it.
Of course you do. You
so-
want to defend the former council.
There was a discrepancy in the.
So who's to blame? Who's to be held
No,
accountable?
it was just a discrepancy. It's been in there for years.
be
The two
held
different,
accountable?
the policy
So
and
no one's
our
accountable.
bylaw didn't add up.
Yeah, no one's
And
accountable
this,
again.
this was years ago, but there is no, I don't know how you get these, how you come up with these final, yeah, but let the Auditor General make a report. She made a report, and we're clarifying that now. There was no problems. There was nothing untoward to what was happening before. The two different policies there. Easily, you were claiming mileage there. We were claiming mileage until we found out about this, and then we stopped doing it there. But we didn't have to because the report. There's two conflicts there. Now we're making the two reports together. So there's nothing untoward there whatsoever.
So you're disputing the Auditor General's report?
No, the Auditor General report said just what I explained to you there, Mark.
Yeah, but you don't see it quite that way. So anyway, we have a mayor that sees it to the benefit of his discretion, not to the residents.
There is no intent.
We have a year to go, so that's okay.
But there is no intent, Mark, there. So to say that there is intent there that we were doing, the past council was doing things on purpose is not true. They're simply following two policies, one policy and our indemnity report that were different. That's all. Like there's no casting any dispersions here. This was some clarity, and we're clarifying it now. We clarified it with our last month there, and this one here. So there's nothing wrong. It's been identified to us. It's been going on for many years. So the fact is that we've clarified this, and once our indemnity is done, then both the policy and our indemnity forms are together. Any other comments there? Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, how come only 5 municipalities that Attorney General mentioned? How about the rest of it? We have 136 municipalities in this province, and only 5 was incorrect.
So no, I wouldn't say that. They didn't investigate 136. They only chose 5 or 6 municipalities to investigate.
Oh, so we was very lucky that he found out about us.
So if you went and investigated any other, they would find something everywhere.
Oh, and why is that? That shouldn't be happening.
No,
if we have proper management, that should never happen. No, because council changes, administration almost staying the same. So
not everyone's perfect.
The problems are there, then that have to be corrected. But anyway, Mayor, I want to answer to you. You said that we have to get lots of money because we're going to attract better people. Maybe attract better people because we're going to listen to our residents. Our residents going to come to us, say, guys, you deserve a good increase if you rate because you're doing good job. You're respecting us, you're listening to us, and that's what really appreciated. That's my comment. Thank you.
Okay, so be it resolved that second reading be given to bylaw number 25-14 as amended, being a bylaw of the IERHA of Springfield to establish the rates, taxable allowances, types, and conditions of payment to or on behalf of members of the Council of the IERHA of Springfield. 2.I, unless a council member opts out of receiving the increase, and 2.5, 200, 208.08, and 25 to 2601.
Okay, with that being read, can I get a show of hands first question? Is those in support? That's Councillor Fuel and Tarian. Those opposed? Councillors Miller and Kaczynski, and so defeated.
So we'll have to look at what changes we can make so that we can comply with the Auditor General's report at a future meeting.
I don't know why you guys were opposed to it when we got all the recommendations out of there, clarified. I don't understand this.
Well, I had said it very clearly. I'm opposed to voting for my own salary increase. It's a principle.
But we have that. It was stated in the resolution.
Well,
that it was stated in the resolution.
And I've explained I don't know another way to pass council salaries unless it's through an indemnity bylaw. So how would you suggest we do that?
Okay, let's.
Well, I don't know how to fix the Auditor General's report without passing this. So I need to know to do what section?
Separately. What do you mean by separately? We have to.
How do you do it separately? Okay.
So we just defeated the indemnity bylaw. Okay. So we don't have to go. It makes no sense because everything was complied here, there, but I don't understand. We'll go past the 8.2, of course. Then we'll go to 8.3. That's the bylaw 2515, Aggregate Reserve By-Law. That's the first reading. Mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Fuel and Tarian.
Be it resolved that first reading be given to bylaw number 25-15, being a bylaw of the RM of Springfield, being about to establish a municipal aggregate reserve fund.
Any questions from council at all? Councillor Kaczynski?
Thank you. Whose idea was this that we have this bylaw for aggregate now?
So as you're aware, you went on the aggregate tour, and I think Public Works explained that there's a need for building up a reserve for future aggregate needs.
Whose idea was to put this forward? We didn't discuss as a council. We just was invited on a tour, and on a tour we're learning that that's what we're gonna do.
Well, I'm bringing
Whose
it
idea
forward
was in
for
the
council
first of all?
discussion.
Well, this was probably...
No, we should have discussion before we went on a tour, so we know what we're going on a tour for reason. We was never explained to that as a council.
So what's your question then, Andy?
I just give you the council. Whose idea was to have this aggregate bylaw?
Staff,
It's coming from staff.
correct.
Why?
Why not?
No, I'm
Well-
asking why. Why,
Well,
why somebody
it's-
have bright idea and said, oh, we have to do that? For what reason?
So right
You-
now we have leases that we have in place with aggregate companies, and we budget based on the minimum amounts that they can extract. A lot of times they extract more, so we make more money that's not budgeted. So instead of that money just going into the surplus that we get criticized about always budgeting improperly because we have surplus, we'd like to take that surplus and put it into an aggregate reserve that's specific to that subject.
When why? Why if we have extra money, why we don't give the money back to the taxpayers, lower their taxes?
Oh, okay. Like, here, Andy, you were on this with us for what, 4 or 5 hours. Everybody was there except for Councillor Miller. So everything that we did, the research that was out there, the cost of draining the pit there across from the Oakwood or that what's the transfer station out by Vivian there. That's considerable amount of money, and I'll do an assessment in all our pits is a huge amount of money, and it requires these test holes to be done. And this is what I understand is there, and I ask all the questions there at that time. So having a reserve will allow us to have a savings account for doing the proper analysis of what we have in the ground. We can do 3 or 4 holes, but that's not enough. That gives us a barely essential area of what the aggregate is below us there. So doing more test holes will give us a concise answer of what the value is of the aggregate, how much there is down there, and the quality of that aggregate as well. So we are able to put this into use by having this money there dedicated strictly for aggregate analysis of those pits. We've got a huge amount of property out by Vivian and Anola out east, and we have our pits down here as well. We're gone from one pit to another there, so we should know what our value is with regards to what's into the ground, because our property is going to go out east, and we should know if this land isn't as good for the aggregate there, that we could sell it off. This has given us an idea of what the value is underground. It's an assessment of the value of the RM. Deputy Mayor? Just 1 minute there, Andy. Just Deputy Mayor?
Yes, I'd like to add to that. My understanding also when we did the tour is aggregate's not going to last forever. So eventually we may have to haul in and it'll cost us more money. So this will reserve then will be always used for aggregate material. And that was another reason why they were looking at this, to have this reserve. Thank you.
So I want to continue. So if we gonna run out of the aggregate, why we stating here aggregate lands for sale? We're gonna generate funds. Why we would sell our aggregate when we're gonna need it in the future generations? That doesn't make any sense.
What? Where are you reading that, Andy?
Point number 2.
Okay, the surplus funds received from the sale of municipal aggregate lands, provincial levies, and aggregate leases may be placed in a reserve fund by a resolution of council. We'll know which lands that we're not going to get the value out of that land, and it's not worth much underneath it there. We don't know what's underneath it there, and that's extremely expensive to figure out what's underneath it there. So if we have an aggregate reserve, we're able to do this testing without impacting on our public works budget as well.
So how are we doing so far? How are we finding out? Were we generating funds to drill holes, and we did it till up to this point that we're gonna change now?
Well, that comes out of the public works budget, I believe.
So right now, just the general mill rate is paying for any aggregate supplies, services, test holes, anything we spend to aggregates comes out of the general mill rate right now.
And what's wrong with that? At least, so you can assign this money for the aggregate pool of money, same like we have pool of money for different departments. And we don't have to have special bylaw for it.
Well,
That
we have,
doesn't make any sense. We're gonna create more bureaucracy and more people involved with that.
There's not an extra bureaucracy here. It's just another, basically a savings account. We've got many reserve funds specifically for our rec center and our water treatment plant, our waste, our lagoon. So we have several files or several funds in reserve for specific reasons. This is just another one for a specific reason for doing an analysis of our pits there, and it doesn't impact on our public works, which, you know, that's all money from the taxpayers and so on. This is, we have the money in an account. If we get $100, then we're going to spend $95 to figure out what the analysis is for the aggregate and so on. I'm using, you know, obviously extremely low numbers, but that's kind of what we're doing. We're not going to overspend on our reserve. If we have a certain amount of money, we're not going to be able to spend more towards that. But we have to have an analysis of all our pits. Out east is where I read a report many, well, not many years ago, I've been on this for 3 years, that out east is going to be the up and coming area for aggregate. It's in the ground. We have lots of land there. I'd love to get some more land there, but aggregate, you know, where is the respect? Just let me continue here, right? Just your second warning, Mr. Aikens there. So continuing on with Mr. Aikens disrupting me here, we have to have this in place there. So that's all I can say. So I think maybe we can read the question, and then unless there's other questions.
I just want to clarify that reserves are only, or money is only put into this reserve by resolution of council. Typically, we won't know until the end of the year what that surplus amount looks like. So depending on, you know, how we've spent, if we're going to have a surplus or not, if council doesn't feel that it's warranted that year, you don't pass a resolution to put the money in. So it's completely managed by council. But if you'd like Blaine to come and explain it to you better, I mean, that's an option too.
Well, my answer is still, it's not necessary to create another bylaw, because we have so many bylaws that we don't know where we're coming or going from it, and we don't force anything. So why create something more? And especially when whatever we have now, it's working up to this point for the last 50 years, and now we have to change, because we're going to aggregate project development, material processing, storage, acquiring lands needed for municipal aggregate pool process, equipment acquisition, purchasing or aggregate transportation costs. We should have all these numbers now before how much that's going to cost, that what we want to do before we proceed with it. But we cannot just go blindly to it. Somebody should research this and provide it to council, so we have good understanding what really going to happen, how much it's going to cost us, how much going to cost taxpayers.
Well, I think Blaine's able to give you that information, so I would suggest we defer this until
I agree.
Blaine can get you that information.
That.
Maybe
Yeah.
he can tell us again then about that.
Yeah.
So why don't we defer it for some other time there for that?
Mr. Mayor, you asked
Okay,
if
no.
anybody had.
No. Okay, where are we at here? 8.4, we'll defer the aggregate
You
bylaw
asked, Mr.
there.
Mayor, you asked if anybody had
You're
questions.
being disruptive, Mr. Giesbrick.
I'm
So,
not being disruptive. You asked if anybody had
8.4
questions.
No, I didn't. 8.4
Yes, you did.
bylaw 8.4 bylaw 2516 road closure closing bylaw border chemical and Nederhoed there. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that, please? Councillors Fuel and Tarian.
Be it resolved that first reading be given to bylaw number 25-16, being a bylaw of the RM of Springfield to close municipal roads and authorize the sale of the land as set out within deposit plan number 1406-2017.
Questions from council? See none. Can I get a show of hands for the question of those in support there of a road closing bylaw? That is unanimous, so carried. We'll go to consent agenda. If we can add consent agenda 10.1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'd like to read into the 10.6 myself there. Can I get a mover and a seconder for the consent agenda, please?
Mr. Mayor, can we discuss the WMR, Regional Plan Progress Report?
Okay, why don't we just do consent agenda for 10.1, 10.2, and 10.3. Can we skip to 10.5 and 10.5? That agreed? So if I get a show of hands there for...
I just need a mover and seconder.
mover and seconder for that, please. Miller and Kaczynski.
Whereas a consent agenda has been submitted consisting of 4 items, be it resolved that the said consent agenda be received as information.
Thank you. With that read, can I get a show of hands of those in support? Unanimous and is carried. So when we go to 10.4, the Winnipeg Metropolitan Region Progress Report, can I get a mover and a seconder for that? Miller or Kaczynski and Fuel.
What is the resolution to read? Sorry. Is it just for discussion?
He wanted to discuss it.
Okay. Maybe just don't need a resolution until I know what the outcome is.
So
Well, it's no resolution, it's just discussing it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to find out like what's going on with WMR. I listened the last meeting that it was conducted, and again, nothing was said what WMR standing for, what they're gonna do. It's everything like we're gonna find out how we're gonna work together. How is this possible that WMR is as an organization for the last 5 years and they still discussing the procedure, how they're going to proceed with this whole process? It's no meat and potatoes. It's happening same thing what happened with the Plan 2050. That if residents not going to know what's in it, then nothing going to proceed forward. And some of the members of this WMR saying that municipality who not want to be in it, it's for some reason going to be punished. How this is accepted that mayors from this community around Winnipeg saying that they're going to punish somebody? Oh, we're going to work on it, that we're going to bring them in. We have to give them some goodies that those other municipalities who opted out gonna come into us because we're going to be stronger together. Those people make decisions. I guess they all adults and they know what they're doing, what they working with the residents, and they promised them to residents that that's what they're going to do. Residents accepted that and they want to move on. So why spending time WMR on a situation that how you going to bring those municipalities back in when they want to have no, they don't feel like, because they seen that what's happening with 2050 and don't feel like that it's nothing for them. Nothing was offered to these municipalities to remain in that WMR. And I don't know, what we calling this, WMR or C Capital Reserve Plan, or what are we calling now? Like every time they have another meeting, they call different and use different titles to their meeting. Why is that? Can you please, Mayor, answer to our residents, like
It's no
where
one
we
under,
stand and when it's going to be some avenues for residents to understand what's going to be in there. Like when me as a councilor, I don't know why you guys even meeting that you're not discussing anything. Maybe you're discussing because that last meeting was in camera. Maybe you're discussing in camera. But
oh my
why you
God.
have meetings in camera when that's supposed to be to the public? Was squashed by 2050 plan was squashed for that reason, because was decided by power to be, not talking with the residents, especially residents of city of Winnipeg. Majority of them in Niverville was from city of Winnipeg.
What's the question, Andy?
When you're going to have meetings that you're going to discuss something that it's important to the residents, not optics, how you're going to proceed with it.
We are having meetings steadily. I think our next meeting is Wednesday or Thursday, so that answers
Okay, so
that.
what is main thing that you guys discussed it so far? Because you have 4 months, I think, since Niverville
4 months.
fiasco. What did you guys decide that going to be good for residents for this municipality?
That was 16 months ago for Niverville. Yeah, it was last year. Well, it's a year ago.
Okay, so what was decided in 16 months that it's good for this municipality?
We're discussing it as we speak. The board of directors are discussing it, Andy. This is something we've discussed many times, so I don't know what more to say.
Not even one item you can mention to our municipality.
I've sent you all the stuff. I sent you the reports and so on like
it's
that.
It's nothing there. That
we're still working on it.
You said who changed on the board of directors. That's about it on WMR. How about say something good that people are going to be dancing on the street in Oakbank?
Well, you know, we're still working on it. That's all I can say.
I think they've suggested that a plan is going to be released in spring of 2026 for the public to review. So
we hope to have a plan then.
I think that's what we're waiting for.
But by the time we have this plan, like we have to have something for our residents. We're supposed to have public hearings with our residents about WMR. You cannot come up with something and offer something to our residents because nothing happening.
We're going to discuss public hearing dates. I suspect we'll probably have something soon with the dates and locations. I said that before.
Oh, how soon? Like, can you say
I don't know,
date?
Andy. I don't know, Andy. Once
because
I do,
you guys as a
I've kept you up to date. What more do you want me to say?
Because WMR doesn't work on the progress to present something to the residents.
They don't want us to do that? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I said.
Okay, tell me what you're saying then.
I'm saying that you're working for the last 16 months and WMR, Plan 2050 was scrapped. What did you make it in those 16 months that you can say one thing that is good for this municipality and present it to the residents of municipality of Springfield?
We're working on it. That's all I can say. Okay, anything else, Mark?
Yeah, thank you. And I follow the concerns of Councillor Kaczynski. I looked at the report. You know, I tried to zoom into their last board meeting, and for the public, it was this. It was disgraceful. You talked about the minutes, and then you went into camera and you discussed what you're discussing, which the public will never know because it's in camera. So, you know, in the regional plan that they presented to us here today, they said that on August 19th, they met with the RM of Springfield, which was us, behind closed doors, I might say. The public wasn't involved. So what Councillor Kaczynski is saying, the optics is really, really bad. You're not engaging with the public. You're engaging with the same people, or some of the same people who were involved in the first plan. So if you can't get it right, it's, you know, the old adage, you know, you keep doing what you're doing and you don't learn from it. There's something not quite right with this. So when we have this plan, this new plan in spring of 2026, I absolutely hope that we have an opportunity to engage with the public, and you as our representative on that board ought to be advocating strongly, and I'll be zooming into this meeting too, unless it's in camera, of course. And I want you to say very boldly and strongly, we need the residents of Springfield and Niverville and everywhere else to be engaged and highly consulted, not just a sugar dusting of saying we've come to present to you, but we don't want to hear from you. That seems to be the mentality of everything, right? We'll come to present to you as they did to us, but they didn't really hear anything from us. They didn't hear our concerns. You know, the CEO of that organization came to us to present their latest operation, but they didn't really engage with us. My question to you, Mr. Mayor, to date, please name the municipalities or communities that have opted out of this organization, because it's cost us dearly. It's costing Mr. Kuffner, it's costing me, it's costing a lot of people a lot of money to be involved in this organization and to pay your per diems and everything else to go to it. So what are we getting out of it? You couldn't answer Councillor Kaczynski, but there's not one tangible benefit for the RM of Springfield, and that raises a concern. So which are the municipalities that have opted out? You're on the board, you ought to know, and you can rattle them off to us right here publicly.
You know, you've changed your mind just recently, Mark, saying that we have to wait for the report to come out so we can vote on it. You were saying for over a year that we have to opt out right away. Now you changed your mind. There's a reason for that. You did. So that going forward, there's nothing there except for common sense. We have to wait for the report to come out in the spring, and then we can see from there how it goes. As for the ones that have opted out, that's all knowledge, public knowledge. You know, I'm not gonna.
You're on the board and you don't know.
I'm not
no,
gonna be.
You don't know. That's how representative this guy is.
No, I'm not.
He doesn't know.
I'm just tired of your
yeah,
crap.
because you don't know. So
I'm just tired of your
answer,
crap.
Which municipalities have opted out? You don't know. Can't you just even
East
tell us
St.
you
Paul,
don't know?
West St. Paul, Denader, and St. Andrews.
You missed somebody.
Oh, Selkirk.
Well, if you didn't get prompted, I don't think you would know that.
Yeah, whatever. Like
whatever.
What is this?
That's
a Jeopardy question there?
Yeah.
You know, your conduct is disgraceful. You know, you're just trying to get me on little things there. Just smarten up and start being a counselor for once. You're pandering to the audience. That's all you're doing. So let's carry on. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night.
What a disgusting mayor. And in a year, it's going to change. Thank God for that.
Yeah, thank God. Andy.
Thank you. How come the minutes and YouTube video from that meeting was deleted? It's no longer available to the public.
You'll have to contact WMR for that. I don't know why.
Oh, you board of directors. Like, why don't you know?
I'm the board of directors, but I'm not the IT guy. You know, why don't you phone WMR then? Ask them. Aggressive. It's loud, maybe. It's not aggressive. So let's carry on here. So 10.6, I'd just like to read this into the record there. JohnQ Public is pleased to provide an update on the Winnipeg Metropolitan or Winnipeg Region Railport, also known as WRRP. Information about the exciting initiative is now available on JohnQ website. As the project advances, we'll continue to provide updates, briefings, and share progress online. In 2019, in the spirit of collaboration, JohnQ Public Board began planning the WRRP in the rural municipality of Rashot. Since then, the board has engaged expert advisors and leaders in the transportation and rail industries. The vision of a WRRP, or the Winnipeg Regional Railport, is collaboratively owned, state-of-the-art, multimodal railport designed to drive regional economic growth, strengthen Manitoba's access to global markets, and create quality jobs for communities across Manitoba. In June of 2023, the province of Manitoba entered into a formal contribution agreement with JohnQ Public, providing $18 million to secure land, complete foundational studies, and engage experts to help revitalize this realize this vision. Due to the project's complexity and commercial considerations, including land acquisition, partner negotiations, and confidentiality obligations, JohnQ Public did not hold a formal public announcement at that time. Since 2023, significant progress has been made and many important milestones have been achieved. Laying a strong foundation for success, this momentum is expected to continue. In August of 2025, JohnQ entered into a letter of intent with Chipewyan Cree Nation to work as partners in planning and developing WRRP. We continue to work through due diligence aspects of LOI, the letter of intent, and hope to share more updates in the coming months. The LOI reflects JohnQ's commitment to partnerships, reconciliation, inclusive economic growth, and collaboration. On October 3rd, 2025, the JohnQ board, CEOs, and council members provided a private tour and project briefing for Chief and Council of Chipewyan Cree Nation. The tour offered an opportunity to showcase the unique attributes of the site, further build on the project vision. The board of JohnQ was delighted that National Chief Cindy Woodhouse and Grand Chief Kyra Wilson attended the site to tour and a briefing. We look forward to detailed discussions with all levels of the government in the coming months. About the project, WRRP, the rail port, offers approximately 1,000 acres of developable land for logistics, transloading, and new manufacturing opportunities. JohnQ was founded in 2018 as a cooperative non-for-profit partnership of Manitoba municipalities. Its goal is to pool resources and build a model that delivers more than a municipality could achieve alone. Every dollar earned is reinvested in the future projects, no private profit, just public progress. The WRRP collaboration owned and JohnQ has secured a first of its kind tax sharing agreement amongst the 12 municipalities, ensuring local communities share in the benefits. The LOI with Chipewyan Cree Nation marks an important step forward, stronger Indigenous relationships and shared prosperity. With the reopening of the Port of Churchill, this hub creates new opportunities for rail, strengthens northern connections, and expands Canada's reach to global markets. Chipewyan Cree Nation, located on the shores of Cedar Lake, 440 kilometers north of Winnipeg, is home to roughly 1,200 residents and has a rich history rooted in resource-based economy under Treaty 5 of 1876. The WRRP will be one of Canada's first eco-industrial rail parks, reducing emissions and building a greener trade network. Rail transport is 4 times more fuel efficient than trucks. The WRRP offers direct access to Class 1 rails and further connectivity to 3 Class 1 rails through inter-switching. The project connects businesses to east, west coast, Arctic Gateway, and 5 Mexican gateways. The WRRP complements the Port of Churchill plus a nation-building project, diversifying trade routes and building pathways for agricultural and critical minerals and manufactured goods. Shipper focus planning will prioritize Manitoba's farmers, businesses, and industry. Almost 94% of the Western Canada's grain moves by rail. Increasing competition will improve prices for farmers and businesses. Economic development or economic benefits are substantial, near 2,000 direct jobs, over 1,200 construction jobs, 390 million in annual GDP, and 131 million in annual tax revenue. Thank you for your continued support. We look forward to sharing further updates through our website and ongoing partner discussions. And it ends off with websites for JohnQ. So to answer your question, Mark, we'll be sharing the tax revenue, all 12 municipalities from this site. And the tax revenue was $131 million in annual taxes. And signed by our Colleen Sklar. And that's what I want to read into the record. It basically answered all your questions there.
Question, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
So of the 131 million, how much does the RM of Springfield going to receive?
You know, I don't know how much, but if I was doing my math, it's going to be divided amongst 12 different RMs.
Okay, so can we have it on record? The mayor is saying that we're going to receive.
It's on record. I just said it here.
Yeah, well, I want substance and tangible results. You know, you're on our board. Other than the potential money that we haven't seen yet, what have you as our board representative yielded for the RM of Springfield? Where are the new daycares? You're on the board when JohnQ also provided money well, I can't speak to it too much, but as you know, the Auditor General is investigating the procurement policies of that. But beyond that, where are the daycares that you're strongly advocating for us in Springfield? Where are they today?
It was taken away by the Canoe government, and
So you're accusing
I've got
the
no
Premier.
issues. Just let me continue. I got no issues with the Canoe government.
They took it away. You say they took it away, and you're saying you have no issues with them.
You're
can't have it both
you're
ways, Mr.
interrupting
Mayor.
me, Mark.
I know.
Let me finish.
When you
let me
when you
finish,
make
Mark.
two statements.
Mark, let me finish.
Okay, let me finish.
Okay, you're being
after too.
disruptive. Okay, so the casinos, the daycares have been taken away from JohnQ. There's going to be another process that's going to go forward, and that's all I can say. That's the Canoe government has taken that away through the JohnQ. So we still are looking at getting our daycare in our subdivision at the school in Enola. As for the review, it's a review that's still ongoing, and we go through this, I don't know how many times, Mark. I send you my reply with regards to the review. If you've got something to add, then please submit it to the Auditor General. What can I tell you? Anything more than what I've said 100 times to you? There you go. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just trying to enlighten you, and thank goodness we
enlighten me.
Now you're interrupting me, but
oh yeah,
it doesn't work both ways for you, does it? So we have a representative on the with the NDP online. Thank goodness for that. So if I write a letter to the Premier tomorrow and say our mayor and the RM of Springfield has said that you've taken away the ability for us, I'll look at the audio, but you're accusing the Premier of this province of taking away daycares. And I want to see his response. You said it. I didn't say it.
I am so tired of you looking to get gotcha moments here. Why don't you stand up and be a counselor and stop trying to vilify myself? I'm on the board of JohnQ. I'm not here to do anything bad to the RM or anybody else in this province, but you keep on saying this crap there and trying to get me into gotcha moments there. The Wab Canoe government, there are government there, and they made a decision, point blank. I am not looking for anything here that you're going to use against a letter. To say that you're going to send a letter to Wab Canoe, what is that? Like, why don't you just smarten up and start working with the council? Like, enough of this crap. I am tired of it. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know I'm a representative of our community as well. I'm tired of you misleading, being abrasive.
Misleading? What am I misleading on, Mark? What am I misleading on?
Be respectful. Be respectful to me speaking, Mr. Mayor. You don't do it both ways, do it. You want to have the final word. You're accusatory, you're abrasive, you're arrogant to the people of our community. It's got to stop. You say, I'm all these things. You accuse me of things. Look yourself in the mirror. Visit the audio. See what people are saying to you. Mr. Giesbrecht is trying to say something too online, but you tell him, of course you can't speak to it because no one in this community can speak to this council. You've closed it down. 1 year, that's going to change.
It's a council decision, Mark. We voted on this. Don't you understand? We voted on this. So it's a council decision. Live with it, okay? All right, let's go on. Yeah, whatever. So new business, 11.1, water transfer station refuse and recycling hauling tender. Mover and a seconder for 11.1, please. Miller or Fuel and Terrian.
Be it resolved, the Council of the RM Springfield award the work for waste transfer station refuse and recycling haul and processing services for 2026 to 2028 to Waste Connections of Canada for a 3-year estimated base cost of $263,318, $272,556.15, and $282,124.10 plus taxes. And be it further resolved that the Council of the RM of Springfield grant authorization to incur extra expenditure for the additional flow-through waste tipping fees, recycle processing fees, and glass tipping fees for the operating years 26, 27, and 28 as required by waste and recycling operations.
Any questions? I see none. Can I get a show of hands? Those in support of 11.1? That is unanimous and so carried. We can go to 11.2, that's Green Acres Commercial Subdivision Streetlights. Mover and a seconder, please. Terrian and Fuel.
Be it resolved that Council of the RM of Springfield hereby authorize Manitoba Hydro to make the following changes to the street lighting system in Green Acres Commercial Subdivision to install 27 60-watt LED underground davit standards. The current rate is set at $14.71 a month per 60-watt LED. This will increase the annual street budget by $4,766.04. Therefore, be it resolved that it is agreed that this resolution will constitute an amendment to the street lighting contract now in force between Manitoba Hydro and the RM of Springfield, dated October 14th, 2025.
Thank you. Any questions, Council? Then if I can go to the question as read, those in support first. That is unanimous and so carried. We can go to 11.3, please. That's the town of St. Anne's, a letter of support. If I get a mover and a seconder for that, please. Terrian and Fuel. Is there any questions from council with regards to this? I just had a comment with regards to this. I've reached out. Most people know I'm an avid hockey player there. I know it's essential for communities to have their arenas and so on like that. But I don't know if this is within our realm to be showing a support for any teams. This is more of an issue between the Aces hockey team and the Manitoba Hockey Association. I understand there is a bit of a complexity to this. Somebody in the executive of the Manitoba Hockey, I guess there was some trouble there. First the team was let in and let out, but I don't know how this would be something that council should look at as a resolution. This is kind of beyond our purview. That's just my opinion there. So anybody else have any comments with regards to that? I see none. Oh, Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I would agree with you that I don't believe that really involves us. It's more between them. And I would take this resolution and maybe just we'll vote on it and see where it lands. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions at all? If we can read the resolution, then we can vote.
Therefore, be it resolved that the RM of Springfield support the request by the town of St. Anne to formally request the Southeastern Manitoba Hockey League to reconsider and reverse its decision to remove the St. Anne Aces from the 25-26 season in the interest of preserving senior hockey and recognizing the St. Anne Aces' rightful place within the SEMHL.
With that being read, can I get the first question, those in support? I see no hands up. Those opposed? All four opposed. That's Councillor Miller, Kaczynski, Fuel, and Terrian. So defeated. If I can go to 11.4, please. That's the outreach of Manitoba Water Services Board annual budget increase. Mover and a seconder, please. Terrian and Fuel.
Be it resolved the Council of the RM of Springfield fully supports an immediate annual increase to the Manitoba Water Services Board's capital budget beginning in 2026 to $100 million from its current $24 million.
Questions from Council? Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. What would be the cost to RM for this increase from 24 to 100 million? There's no actual cost to it,
no,
as I understand. It's just to encourage them to increase the budget. So,
well, as you said, there's no cost to us, but it does give us more money that we can tap into for our water and sewer projects, which is badly needed right now.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No.
Then have you read it already?
Yeah.
Can I get a show of hands to the question, please? That's 11.4. Those in support? That is unanimous, so carried. 11.5, that's the Springfield Chamber of Commerce Awards Banquet. A mover and a seconder for that, please. Fuel and Terrian.
Be resolved that Council of the RM of Springfield authorize administration to purchase 6 tickets for a total of $600 for the Springfield Chamber of Commerce Awards Banquet.
We're on, what do we have on that day? A
We do
conflict?
have a planning meeting, so this is to send the fundraising committee for the rec center. They're up for an award that evening.
Oh, okay, using our seats and so on like that?
Correct.
Yeah, I think our volunteers deserve this. They've done an exceptional job. Any other questions or comments from council? If I get a show of hands of those in support. Deputy Mayor Fuel and Therien, those opposed? Councillors Miller and Kaczynski. So I don't understand, but that's so okay. Community Futures chair event, that's 11.6, please. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Kaczynski and Therien.
Be resolved that Councillor Fuel be delegated to attend the Grow and Thrive 2025 Community Futures Chairs event in Calgary, November 7th and 8th, 2025.
Questions or comments? Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do you know the anticipated cost for sending a delegate?
So Community Future actually covers all the expenses, so the only cost to the RM would be any indemnities claimed.
And that would be for just one day, or is it's 2 days, I see?
It's 2 days.
2
yeah.
days. And I would ask Councillor Fuel, do you see this as being advantageous? I'm glad it's just one member of council, not all of us, but I think you can do probably a good job, but if you can answer.
Yeah, I'll be representing the Winnipeg River Community Futures. It's more about planning. Chairs discuss what's happened in the past and the future, what's happening in the future. There's a big announcement coming out on October 15th with some more funding, so I'm sure that'll be part of our discussions.
And just as a follow-up, I would ask that you provide a summary report on your deliberations there, if possible, to council and members of the public.
Yep.
Thank you.
Councillor Kaczynski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Councillor Fuel, can you explain to the residents what benefits we as a Springfield municipality getting being in that organization?
Yep, there's residents that own businesses that have done programming with the Community Futures. Community Futures lends to new businesses or ongoing businesses that if they need money, let's say it's a higher risk, so then you go to Community Futures, they look at it differently, and they'll lend you money with, of course, a little higher interest rate.
And how many businesses we have that they, for instance, in last 2 years, get the benefits from that program?
Well, it's based on an application. So the benefit is we have done, I don't know the exact number at this time, but I do know we have done for Springfield businesses with lending money to the Community Futures.
And what's the interest rates for the borrowing that money?
Yeah, it's prime plus 4%.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I see no further questions there. If we can put it to the vote, those in support of 11.6, can I get a show of hands? That is unanimous and so carried. Next one is 11.7, IERHA Health Workforce Coalition meeting. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Therien and Kaczynski.
Be it resolved that Mayor Therien be delegated to attend the IERHA Health Workforce Coalition meeting on November 3rd in Selkirk.
Any questions from council at all? I see none. Can I get a show of hands of those in support of 11.7, please? It is unanimous, so carried. 11.8, please. That's a Canada Nuclear Laboratories Whiteshell Regional Gathering of Leaders. There, mover and a seconder, please. Miller and Kaczynski.
Be resolved that all of council be delegated to attend the Canadian Nuclear Laboratories Whiteshell Regional Gathering of Leaders meeting on November 5th in Beausejour at their discretion.
Questions from council? Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Normally, as being a representative, being cost conscious, I wouldn't normally recommend all of council participate, but this is, I think, a unique one-off. And so I would just reflect that I don't think we're over-representing our community. It's something that is potentially not only interesting, but is not an annual type of an event. So,
thank you. Any other questions or comments? Then if I can get a show of hands of those in support of 11.8, please. And as unanimous, so carried. 11.9, please. That's Heart and Heroes Lac du Bonnet Wildfire Response Recognition. Mover, seconder, please. Councillors Kaczynski and Fuel.
Be resolved that Mayor Therrien be delegated to attend the Hearts and Heroes Lac du Bonnet Wildfire Response Recognition on September 20th in Lac du Bonnet.
Any questions at all from Council? Councillor Miller. No. It was awards recognition there. We got an award from the RM for our fire fighting here, sending volunteers there. Many members of cabinet were there in recognition of the lives, the 2 persons that were lost there as well. That was recognized in the fire, plus all the volunteers that were present there. It was an exceptional event. And our chief and our fire department were recognized for their contribution and accepted the plaque on our behalf.
There was no cost for the luncheon, the $20 for the social afterwards that the mayor didn't attend, so there would only be the per diem and mileage.
Yeah. Any other questions? I'd like to get a show of hands of those in support. That is unanimous. So carried. Letters form on growing the economy. Letters form, sorry, on growing the economy. 11.10. Please, mover, seconder. Therrien and Fuel.
Be resolved that all of council be delegated to attend the Leaders Forum on growing the economy on September 25th in Winnipeg at their discretion.
Questions? Councillor Miller.
yeah, I just noticed, why is it Johnny come late? Why is it that we're approving something that actually already happened? In other words, are we covering our back ends by doing this, or what's the purpose of it?
Correct. We didn't have a council meeting in time to pass this, so we're getting it after the fact. So I believe it was only Councillor Fuel, Councillor Warren, and Councillor Kaczynski that attended.
Yeah.
So
and what was the cost of that again?
$60 plus GST.
You found that?
Yeah, $60 plus GST. Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions? If I go to show of hands for 11.10, please. That is unanimous, so carried. And we'll go to 11.11, please. List of accounts. Movers, please, for that. Therrien and Fuel.
Whereas disbursements have been reviewed for the period of September 6th to October 9th, 2025, be it resolved that all accounts listed on the attached printout from check 163-156 to 163-269 totaling $2,462,074.11 and EFT 203 to 260 totaling $515,884.17 be approved for payment, as well as the following withdrawals. Red River Co-op, $36,430.15. Western Financial, $11,036.96. Amelia, $188.33. Petro Pass, $48.35. John Deere, $26,146.86. RBC Visa, $32,124.15. Manitoba Hydro, $30,421.46. Bell Canada, $957.28. Bell Mobility, $1774.76. Bell MTS, $5908.35. And Volvo, $20,898.98. And be it further resolved that September payroll in the amount of $316,810.52 be approved.
Questions? Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One question is with item number 163238, and I know members of the public would probably be interested in this one. It's for $221,000 plus, and the item next to it says mowing, and it appears to be for Watt Brothers. So it doesn't really matter who it is, but are we paying $221,000 for mowing of ditches and stuff? Is that what it's specifically for?
Correct. Yeah.
So we don't do any, do we not do any internal cutting? I mean, that seems like it's $250,000 that we're paying others to do, and maybe it's more efficient. Sometimes it is, but it's a huge amount of money. I mean, I
We
just find
undertook
it extraordinary.
a huge area for mowing, so I know a lot of mowing was done, but we also did some of our own, but a lot was contracted out for this year.
And if I can add in that, there was also an industrial mower that we had to use, and we're looking at tendering that out, or we tendered it out to see if we like it there. It's a huge mower that goes through the cattails like you were cutting your grass there. So that's in $110,000. Blaine had brought this to our attention about buying it there. That's our public works director, and I believe that's probably some of that. So it's expensive running the RM.
And the other one is 163261. It's to Pinewood Lodge for $3,127.35. It sounds like hotel or something of that nature. $3,127. What is it for?
That was the planning session.
So that's the retreat. That's
Correct. Yeah.
part of the cost. Now, what does that include? Lodging for staffs, counselors? What does it include?
Yep, lodging and meals.
It's Pine. Councillor Kaczynski alerted me to it here. Sunrise Lodge, 163265, I think, and it's for $3,188 as well. So it's just below that. 163265 Sunrise Lodge.
I believe that's for their taxes.
For their
Council
taxes.
approved the nonprofit grants, and so we cover grant towards Sunrise Lodge and the amount of their taxes for the year.
Oh, I see, the seniors complex. Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other, Councillor Kaczynski?
Thank you, Mayor. I didn't get answer for the question I answered for the last meeting that was on 26th, I guess, or 25th, yeah. It was check number 163-147, Thompson, Dorfman, and Sweatman. And Colleen, you stated was for the union and others. So can you please tell us what was the others?
And that's not on this listing?
No.
Okay,
it was last month, yeah.
I would have to look into that. I thought I responded to that, so.
No, you didn't. I
think your question was what percentage was towards
union?
union?
And what was for it, and then percentage of it, because you said some was for the union contracts and some was others.
No, I apologize. I'll have to look that up for you.
That's it, Andy?
No, I have a few more for today list of account. I have Marcel Dagassi for $9,000, 163-180.
I don't know that one. I'll have to get back to you.
Okay. Painless services for $20,000 almost.
That's for parks.
163-195.
Painless does our parks grass cutting.
Plan X Fiber Solutions for $5,000 only.
Sorry, what was the name?
Plan X Fiber Solution.
163197.
That was fire safety plans that were completed for the transfer stations.
Okay. 163213 Canadian Arena Services, $24,000.
So that was yellow puck board. That was purchases for the Hazel Ridge Sports Complex.
Okay. Now we have 163244 Bird Design Build Construction and its SHHI $1,479,000. So I know we're paying for that Dougal place, but we spent till September, from April 24 till September, $6,384, $6,384,514.32. So did we already pay that $6.3 million? That
So
we
a
promised?
portion of that, council agreed to contribute up to that 6.3
Yes.
number.
Yeah.
There's additional funds that we will pay and recover through SHHI. So it's an ongoing pay and recover situation.
And when that gonna start happening? They
That's
taking
already
mortgage?
started.
Started. So how much money we receive from
I would have to look
SHHI?
into that.
We keeping track of that and
Yep.
and then are they gonna pay us that money back so we can replenish whatever accounts we're taking from?
Yep. They pay all of that
Okay.
money back.
Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Miller.
Just one more, Mr. Mayor. It's for $10,000, specifically 163241 to WRM Law Group.
What number, Mark?
It is 163241
So that,
WRM Law Group.
that was for a development deposit refund.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions at all from council? I see none. If I can get a show of hands of those in support of the resolution as read. That is unanimous, so carried. That was the last one on our agenda. We'll go into a closed meeting now. Can I get a mover and a second to go into a closed meeting, please?
Point of clarification, Mr.
Fuel
Mayor.
and Terrian. Can I get a show of hands to go in a closed meeting?
Point
It's
of
unanimous and so
clarification,
carried.
Mr. Mayor. I rise for point of clarification. May I have a point of clarification, Mr. Mayor?
What was this last one you asked?
Recording stopped.
Thank you. We are back from a closed meeting at 8:44 p.m. Can I get a mover and a second to come out of the closed meeting, please? Miller and Fuel. And we got nothing else to discuss. And if I can get to an adjournment, mover and a second for adjournment, please. Fuel and Terrian. Oh, could I get a vote, those in support of returning from a closed meeting? That's unanimous, so carried. And then we'll go to an adjournment there, mover and a seconder for the adjournment. Fuel and Terrian. Show of hands of those in support of the adjournment. It's unanimous and carried. Thank you. We'll close it at 8:45. That's getting too small, that writing.